Whatever you're into when it comes to sports, you can find it right here. Now, play my intro. Now it's time for the Robb Johnson Sports Show, presented by Robb Johnson Media and the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Good morning to everyone who likes me, everyone who doesn't like me. I don't care who you are, whether you like me, whether you don't like me. It does not bother me one bit. Whether you watch my stuff or you don't watch my stuff, it's all good, because whether you watch or not, I will be here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of the Robb Johnson Sports Show here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network and presented by Robb Johnson Media. Let's talk about some stuff today, folks. We're going to talk about some things that need to be talked about, and that deals with, first of all, the game of baseball. Let's talk about what happened last night. Folks. Last night we had a situation where the New York Yankees lost 12-2. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The New York Yankees lost 12-2 to the White Sox of Chicago. Now, if a lot of you don't know, the Chicago White Sox have been going through a lot of things lately. They've been going through transitions. They've been going through managers. They've been going through situations where the organization is just not good. If you remember a couple of years back, the White Sox were supposed to be in contention. The White Sox were supposed to be a really good baseball team. However, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, nothing is promised, especially in this game of sports. So when I look at the game last night, you have a Yankees team who lost the game. They're now, 70-49 on the season. That puts them a half game back of the Baltimore Orioles. And just for some perspective, when you play one game series like this, if you're the New York Yankees, you have to win games like this. You know, like right now, we're going through this whole weird phase where we have teams like the Miami Marlins who are playing really hard when their payroll is only, $15 million. You have situations where you have teams like the Chicago White Sox who were, on a 20-game losing streak at one point. Stuff like that is just very mind-boggling in a sense. But I have said that this is one of the better baseball seasons I've seen in a long time, because everybody is competitive. No matter if they're losing a lot of games or winning a lot of games, everybody's very competitive. So then you're the New York Yankees. What you have to do is you have to come back and you have to win your next series. Again, there was only a one-game series between the two teams last night. We get all that. We understand that. So what I would like to see here forward going from the Yankees, and let me pull up to see who they're playing. They actually today they're playing the White Sox again. I was very misformed by that. I thought that series was over. I thought that was a one-game series. So they play the White Sox, played them yesterday, they played them tonight, and they play them on Wednesday. And then on Friday, you have the Detroit Tigers for 3 games. And then on Tuesday, which is the 20th of August, you have a very important series against the Cleveland Guardians. That could be a preview for the playoffs. Then you have the Rockies for 2 games. Then you have the Nationals for 3 games. You have the Cardinals for 3 games. You're at the Rangers. You're at the Cubs for 3 games. You're playing the Royals. On the 12th through the 15th, you have the Boston Red Sox for a 4-game series, which is going to be very important. Then you have the Mariners for 3. You have the Athletics. Then on September the 24th through the 26th, you have a 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles, and then you finish the season out with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Critical time for the New York Yankees if you want to get out here and you want to make the playoffs. Well, not even make the playoffs, you want to win a division, because let's be honest here, baseball is very tight right now. And if we go to the standings, even if you are the Yankees and you're only a half game back of the Baltimore Orioles, you can't afford to slip. You can't afford to go out here and start thinking that, it's okay, we're the Yankees, we're going to make the playoffs regardless. You can't think like that. You can't think like that at all. You look at the Yankees right now, they are 4.5. Now, even with the New York Yankees only being a half game back of the Orioles, their lead in the wild card is only 4.5 games, folks. So behind them is the Twins, the Royals, and remember, they play the Twins, I believe they play the Twins and play the Royals. The Boston Red Sox are only 2 games out. The Mariners are only 2 games out. And the Tigers are 9 back. But not saying the Tigers are gonna get a wild card spot, but you're playing these teams down the stretch. So these teams are gonna want to beat you. So if they're the Yankees, you're gonna have to win series like this against the Chicago White Sox. You can't afford to go in here and lose to the Chicago White Sox. What are you doing, New York Yankees? Aaron Judge last night, he had a decent game, I guess. What he had? He had an RBI. But he didn't have an outstanding game. Juan Soto did not have an outstanding game. Your big bat's going to have to come through even with games like this against the White Sox. I know it's the dog days of August, but come on, guys. You got to play better than this. You're the Yankees. You got to play better than this. Going to the next story from MLB last night. Guess who's back, ladies and gentlemen? That's right. Mookie Betts is back, and he is back at the best time. The Los Angeles Dodgers beat the first-place Milwaukee Brewers last night. They also have won 7 out of the last 10 games. So the Dodgers right now, folks, are getting a little hot at the right time. You go to the National League standings, they are now 3.5 games up on the Diamondbacks and the Padres. The Giants are 10 games back. But I want you guys to think about this, right? There was a point where the Giants had won 8 out of the last 10. I believe this has been the year of the streaks when it comes to Major League Baseball, to be honest with you. You have a lot of teams who are hot early, and then they start having trouble late. And I believe that's a team like the Giants, who've lost 2 straight. They lost to the Atlanta Braves last night by a score of 1-0 in a great baseball game, a great pitching, great defense, all that good stuff. But the Atlanta Braves go into San Francisco and win a huge game because, quite frankly, the Atlanta Braves have been struggling lately, and their playoff hopes hinge on these next few weeks going into September. You look at the Braves right now, they're 7 games back of the Philadelphia Phillies. At one point, I believe, about a week or so ago, they got down to 4 or 5 games. But I've been saying this, it's not about the division. The Phillies are clearly the better team right now. The Braves are holding on to a wild card spot, basically. The Mets are a game back. The St. Louis Cardinals are 2.5 back, and the Giants are 2.5 back. So that just tells you how important this series is. Because when you have teams like that who are vying for that last playoff spot, and the Braves were number 1 in the wild card, now they're 3rd, you have got to play better. Now let's go through the Braves schedule. They have the Giants 2 more games. They're at the Angels. They play the Phillies, very important series. They play them on the 20th through the 22nd. Then they got the Nationals at home. They have the Twins. They have the Phillies again, the 29th through the 31st. Through the 1st. So that's another 4-game series. They can make up some time. You have the Rockies, who just beat you in the series. The Rockies are not a good baseball team, but again, they're fighting very hard. You have the Blue Jays, who are pretty much out of it right now at this point. You have the Reds for 1 game. You have at the Nationals from the 11th on the 11th and 12th. That's a 2-game series. Then you have a critical series against the Dodgers, 13th through the 16th at home. You have to at least get 2 out of that. You can't get swept because that could put you out of the playoffs. Maybe they're not even in the playoffs at that point. Then you have the Reds for 3 games. You're at the Marlins, the lonely Marlins who just beat you in a series, right? Then you have the Braves against the Mets, the 24th to 26th. On September 24th to the 26th, that is such a critical series for the Atlanta Braves because at that point, you don't know if the Mets are ahead of you, if they're half a game, 2 games back, whatever. That could determine who makes the playoffs. And then you end the season against the Kansas City Royals. Again, a Kansas City Royals team, if I go back to the standings here, a Kansas City Royals team right now who is 3rd in the wild card standings. They are 3rd in the wild card standings. So, if you're the Atlanta Braves, you got a lot of tough games coming down the pike. You know, there's no putting any type of, hesitancy on it. There's no saying that, they can do better next. No, the Braves have to win. The Braves have to play good baseball. They have to do a better job. They have to do a lot better job of making sure that they are playing great baseball and not giving up games to the Marlins, teams like that, because it's just not going to work. And now let's go to the quick standings for here before we get to the next topic, which will be about Steph Curry. I'm going to give you guys the final standings for we have right now before we get to the next topic. So, again, the Baltimore Orioles lead the Yankees by half a game. In the NL Central, the Guardians lead the Minnesota Twins by 3.5. The Royals are only 5 games back. They can make that up if they start playing better baseball. The Houston Astros are half a game up on the Mariners. The Texas Rangers, your defending World Series champions, are 8.5 games back. Not a good look right now. They've had some injuries, etc. The Philadelphia Phillies, again, are up 7 games on the Braves. And then you have the Milwaukee Brewers, who lead the St. Louis Cardinals by 7.5 games. It feels inevitable that Milwaukee's going to win that series, right? It feels inevitable that Milwaukee's going to take that series and they're going to win that division, because right now it doesn't look like any team going to catch up with them. And then we have the Dodgers again, who are 3.5 up on the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Diego Padres. So a lot of good baseball. Please make sure you're watching your baseball. Please make sure that you are not neglecting baseball. I know it's football time. I know it's football time of the year, but please do not neglect the game of baseball, as it has been doing very well so far. All right, next topic here, folks. Let's check it out. As you see here, Steph Curry. Let's play that again. Let's play that again and then come out right. As we see here, Steph Curry with the step back. Boom! For the three-pointer. And the United States basically goes on to win. I don't think it showed my last. For some reason, it didn't show my last clip there, which I had to CM Punk go to sleep. There we go. The go to sleep. Steph Curry had 4 threes in the last, 2 minutes and 43 seconds of the basketball game. The United States beats France. They take Wemby out. If you saw Steph Curry in the last 2 minutes and 43 seconds, Steph Curry had one heck of a basketball game. Steph Curry continues to play good basketball, not only in the NBA, but his first Olympics, I believe, he had a great showing. LeBron James ends up getting the MVP, which I think he deserved because of the way he played and the way that he led the team. He played team basketball. They did what they were supposed to do. Very proud of those guys. Like I said, a lot of you know, I'm not a big fan of the Olympics. Have not been for a very, very long time. However, I did catch the end of this game. I went back and checked out the highlights and whatnot. Great job by the United States. Also, shout out to the women for as much crap as they've gotten from the public who hasn't really watched any women's basketball ever. They have won, 60 or so games. Sorry about that, folks. I had an email coming through. All right, sorry about that. As you guys know, I had an email coming through. I'm very busy. Got a lot of different stuff going on. Had to check an email really quick. So basically what I feel like is that these women have won 60 or so games, straight games. They've medaled ever since I can't remember. It's a crazy number. I think it's like the last 7 or 8 Olympics they've medaled and won gold. So they've been doing the job for a long time. I've been hearing a lot of talk about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. They're not ready yet, folks. I hate to break that to you guys. Olympic competition is very hard. And quite frankly, I don't think people understand just how physical it is. The game has come a long way. It's a lot different than it was in the early 90s with the Dream Team. I have to give the Dream Team 92 a lot of credit because of the simple fact that they laid the groundwork. They are the reason a lot of people internationally love the game of basketball. So you have to give them a lot of credit. But the competition has really gotten better over the years. So, shout out to the 92 Dream Team. I'm not going to be the person to come on here. I'm not going to be one of those people that come here. I'm going to compare the 92 Dream Team to the 2024 team. No, I'm not doing that, folks, because too many of you are out here comparing. Let's just give them the credit they deserve. Thank you to the 92 national team. Thank you to the 2024 team. You guys did a good job. Thank you to the 2024 women's Olympic team. You guys did one heck of a job. And that's bottom line. I'm not going to get too deep into it. Not going to compare. It's 2 different eras. I know people are tired of I am. I'm sick of the LeBron and Michael comparison. Let's just give these people their credit. Let's just say, great job. You did a great job and you played well. Different eras. They're different eras. All right. Like, find something else to talk about, folks. We need is that all we talk about today is the GOAT conversation? Does anybody have anything else to talk about? There are plenty of things to talk about in sports, but all people want to talk about is the GOAT conversation. Why can't we just enjoy what we just saw from Steph Curry and the crew? Why can't we just enjoy it, right? I mean, look, he got Joel Embiid. He got Joel Embiid a gold medal because we know Joel Embiid ain't winning no championships no time soon, and that's no diss to Joel Embiid, but he's not even from here. But he had to come in and get a gold medal because he was never going to win a gold medal in the first place if he played somewhere else. So that's all I'm saying. Why can't we just talk about the current things that are happening now and give praise to the people from the past? And that's no dig at Joel Embiid, but I've been saying that for a couple of years. He needs to be traded before his value goes down. Joel Embiid, to me, folks, is a liability. He's a great player, but he's not Jokic. And Jokic is international. You had to beat Jokic just to get to this gold medal game. That's my point. So, hey, guys can think wherever you want. But for me, I feel that we just need to start giving these players their credit and just move on. These GOAT conversations, all this different type of stuff, it gets old after a while, folks. So, talk about something else. Have some other subject matters. Now, we're going to talk about here Hassan Reddick versus Joe Douglas of the New York Jets. Oh, my goodness. Hey, listen, guys. Listen, I'm all for a team wanting to get better. But what's funny is the Jets' leading pass rusher went to the Eagles. They bring over Hassan Reddick. And what happens? They don't want to pay Hassan Reddick. What team do you know? I mean, look at Montez Sweat last year. When Montez Sweat was traded from the Commanders to the Bears because Montez Sweat wanted to be what? He wanted to be paid. He wanted to get his money. He goes from the Commanders to the Bears. What do the Bears do? Everybody calls the Bears an incompetent franchise. The Bears paid him. Because that's what every team that understands. When you trade for a player, he wants to be paid. But apparently, the Jets missed the memo. So you trade for Hassan Reddick, a guy who's had double-digit sacks in the last 3 or 4 years? And what do? Oh, he said he was going to play. So it's a he said versus she said. He said versus he said, right? The Jets say he played. Hassan said no. So now he's getting fined, $50K a day? Which is going to add to $1.4 something million, $1.2 million, something in that ballpark? Every player wants to be paid. But again, this is the Jets being the Jets. They have not made the playoffs in 14 years. Not only have they not made the playoffs in 14 years, their last playoff appearance was January 23rd of 2011 when they were lost in the AFC Championship game to the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-19. Okay? So, in those 14 years, do you realize the Jets have won 8 or more games 3 times? 8, 8, and 10. And if you remember, I believe it was 2015. Remember, that's when they had Ryan Fitzpatrick, Brandon Marshall. They came down to the final game of the season and did not make the playoffs. Now, people say, oh, this is the Brady era. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. It's the Jets. What do you expect? This is the same Jets. Let me tell you something. It's the same Jets team who expects Aaron Rodgers. And I blame the media on a lot of things as well. It's a crazy situation. Just trade Hassan. Trade. I agree here. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to highlight this Darrell Owens comment. Just trade Reddick already. Shaking my head. It's a crazy situation. Yes, it is a crazy situation, Darrell. You know why it's a crazy situation? Because the Jets understood the fact that you had to pay the man. And if you're not going to pay the man, just trade him away. But no, they want to stand pat. It's the same franchise and listen, the media in this country, I don't know, I think they have an agenda against Russell Wilson. That's just my opinion. I understand the last 2 years in Denver hasn't been great. But Russell Wilson has 1 championship. It's like Aaron Rodgers has 1 championship. He has 2 Super Bowl appearances. Rodgers has 1. He beat Rodgers to get to the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, the last time we saw him play a real game, I mean, yes, we saw him get injured last year against the Buffalo Bills, but the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers in a real game, what happened? He was getting eliminated from the playoffs by the Detroit Lions. He was getting eliminated. And folks, historically, the Lions never used to beat the Packers in Green Bay. So that's sacrilegious in a way. You're going to lose to the Lions when you were struggling at the beginning of the season. You had a chance to do something in the playoffs. And now they trade for this guy. He comes in. He takes all these retreats. He does what the hell he wants to do because apparently Aaron Rodgers is bigger and better than everybody else on the planet, even bigger and better than Patrick Mahomes. You see Patrick Mahomes this past week? You see Patrick Mahomes? He was actually in a preseason game. Patrick Mahomes was actually playing this week. He's coming off a Super Bowl championship and MVP, and people say, oh, he's younger. It doesn't matter, folks. Aaron Rodgers needs game time experience. He needs to get on that field. And what better team to do it than the Commanders? But I'm gonna tell you like this though. Especially when the Commanders secondary is proven to not be that good. Wouldn't you want him to go out there and shine? But you know what? It gives me a bigger point. I don't think they want him on that field turf. I think they're afraid. Could you imagine if Aaron Rodgers went out there and went on that field turf and got hurt again? Can you imagine? And their first game is in San Francisco. So it's like, hey, we don't want our quarterback to go on this bad turf, which is our home field, and get hurt in the first preseason game. I mean, folks, it is ridiculous. This organization, when you talk about dysfunctional organizations, people love to splatter the Cowboys every day. They love to talk about other organizations who are bad. They like to talk about the Commanders when Daniel Snyder was there. Let me tell you something. At least the Commanders made the playoffs in the last 14 years. At least the Commanders have tried. I mean, what the hell have the Jets done? Tell me. The Jets are a mediocre franchise, excuse me, who went and drafted Zach Wilson when I said, now, you don't have to listen to me because, to me, possibly you think I'm a nobody, even though I'm Robb Johnson and I am one of the better people when it comes to sports. I told you not to draft Zach Wilson. You had an opportunity. You had an opportunity, what, 3, 4, 5 years ago to draft Lamar Jackson. But you drafted Sam Darnold, who I warned the world about. He was not ready to go to New York. He wasn't that guy. Now maybe he's matured. But at that time, no, Sam Darnold wasn't the guy. And you didn't have the infrastructure around him. And that's the thing people have to understand. It's not about, I don't like certain players. It's about the infrastructure. Baltimore had a great infrastructure for Lamar Jackson that he wouldn't have had at other places. And that's my point, folks, is infrastructure. And you know something? I'm looking at Hassan Reddick right now, and you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that he's thinking in his mind, I better get paid. I better get paid because if I don't, this organization will fail me. And it's like Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell's salary a year. You think he's salary a year and he just wasn't good anymore? No, the Jets don't have a good structure. That's why when Le'Veon Bell went to the Jets, I knew it was doomed from the beginning because it is not a good infrastructure, folks. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that, man. That's exactly how I feel about that right now. I do not like the way the Jets do things. I do not like the way the Jets handle their organization. I don't like any of that. So, for me, if I'm Hassan Reddick, I continue to sit out. I do not cave to these people. I do not cave to these people because when you get hurt, Hassan Reddick will be 30 years old on September the 22nd. Once you get past 30, once you start to show signs that you're not going to be the same player, you know what they do? They cut you. They cut you, they don't pay your salary, and you don't get any more money. So if I'm him, if you want me to take my ball and go home, I just do it. Because I am not worried about what you guys are doing anymore. The Jets know they had to pay this guy, and since they didn't, that's their fault. They have no one to blame but themselves. Now, let's go to NFL week 3 preseason. We're not going to go heavy on this, folks. I'm just going to give you some of my expectations. I'm just going to give you some of the things that, give you some of the things I want to see. All right, Patriots, Eagles. Got to see Drake May play more. Drake May was 2 of 3 for 19 yards. Not acceptable. He's got to play more. I want to see more of. I don't need to see Jacoby Brissett. I know what Jacoby Brissett can do. I don't need to see Bailey Zappi. Because first of all, Bailey Zappi needs to be traded. They need to trade Bailey Zappi to somewhere where he can at least maybe contend for the starting job possibly or be a decent backup. Bailey Zappi deserves better. But I want to see more of Drake May, and I want to see more of Joe Milton. I want to see which guy is the guy for the job. If you're the Patriots, I want to see in your preseason game against the Eagles on Thursday who was the guy. Now, week 2, I need to see some Jalen Hurts. I need to see Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley ain't no Hall of Famer right now. I need to see Saquon on the field. I need to see how effective he's going to be. Show me Saquon Barkley, because he's one hit away from another injury in the regular season. So we know that he has the injury history. So we need to see how his body is gonna. We need to see how he's gonna do against some actual competition. I don't think he'll get hurt this year because he has a better offensive line. He should have a better quarterback. He has weapons upon weapons. But there's no guarantee Saquon Barkley is gonna be great. But I need to see what he can do. And if he can come out, maybe run the ball 2 or 3 times, maybe catch a ball or two, get him out the game, just show us something. Show us something with that Kellen Moore offense. What is different about this Kellen Moore offense compared to last year? So that's my whole thing when it comes to the Eagles and the Patriots. Now, let's go to the Saturday games. We start with the noon games. Baltimore against the Atlanta Falcons. Quite simply, show me more Michael Penix. Show me how that defense is improving. And for the Baltimore Ravens, Trenton Simpson, keep displaying Trenton Simpson. Keep showing us why Baltimore is the best when it comes to drafting, because they continue to play great baseball. I'm sorry, I said baseball. Think about the Orioles for a second. They continue to play great football. So continue to show me that defensive side of the ball. The offense will be just fine, as Derrick Henry will not play this preseason, which, unlike Saquon Barkley, I can understand. Now, I will say this. I would like to see Derrick Henry get 1 or 2 carries, maybe 3 carries, maybe even do some pass blocking, because this is a different system than he's played in. So I would like to see Derrick Henry get some work, but unfortunately he will not play until the regular season. Next, we have the Bengals and Bears. Caleb Williams. It's all about Caleb Williams. Get maybe some of his weapons, his first team weapons on the field. Show us what they got, and just get some work on, and get off. When it comes to the Bengals, I need to see the running game. You don't have Joe Mixon anymore. I got to see how these guys, and folks, it's not just about running the football. I need to see them in their pass protections. I need to see how are they attacking the A-B gaps. I need to see how they are running their wheel routes. I need to see how they are running their routes out of the backfield. I need to see, are they going to be as effective as not Joe Milton. I'm sorry, I keep getting a bit confused. As Joe Mixon is. I need to see if they're going to be effective. Next game, the Giants and the Houston Texans. I need to see some Daniel Jones. I need to see what Daniel Jones is going to do. Maybe they'll wait to the third game, but I need to continue to see that Giants offense evolve. Now, again, what I really love, what I saw from last week, that Giants defense is flying around. The Giants defense is flying around, and I am a big fan of what they could possibly be this year and going to the future. And everybody knows when the Giants win playoff games and Super Bowls, it's because their defense is the catalyst for what they're trying to do. Houston Texans, I don't need to see much. I saw everything I need to see last week. Just stay healthy and just continue to try to build that pass rush and continue to get that pass rush better. And if I can see Joe Mixon and get some carries and get some passes, that would be great. Detroit Lions and Kansas City Chiefs. I really honestly don't need to see much from these teams. I saw everything I need to see last week from the Chiefs. They still need to continue to try to fill that cornerback position from the Jerry Sneed. So I need to continue to see how their secondary is going to do, which I think it'll be fine. The Detroit Lions, eventually, I'd like to see Goff out there on the field, possibly not to the third game, but I just want to continue to see what their backups can do, what their defensive line can do, how both, especially the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. I need to see how they're adjusting, because with injuries, you're going to have to see these guys eventually. So I need to see what the Kansas City Chiefs can do. Vikings versus the Cleveland Browns. We'll see Deshaun Watson in the third game. That's what the coaches were saying. We'll see him in the third game. Cleveland just need to continue to see what you're going to do on the backup running back position, because when Nick Chubb comes back, he'll be the starter. But he was injured, so we need to see what the backups can do. Eventually, we'll see Jerry Jeudy. Not right now. I believe he's hurt. Deshaun Watson, again, will play in the third game. J.J. McCarthy had knee soreness, so we probably won't see him. So we need to see what Sam Darnold and the other crew is going to do. We need to see what they can bring to the table. So that's a very important thing for me on Saturday. Pittsburgh against Buffalo. We need to see Russell Wilson, bottom line. Nothing else to talk about. We need to see Russell Wilson get out there, win the job. Let's cut all this noise about him and Justin Fields. They're not on the same level. Colts against the Arizona Cardinals. This is an interesting game for me, because I need to see more from Anthony Richardson, maybe a few series. If I get Kyler Murray, great. If we got to wait to the third game, that's fine. But I think these are two teams, folks, who are going to surprise some people this year. The Colts have the talent on offense. They have it on defense. The Colts have a really good offense. their defense is going to continue to grow. Jonathan Gannon, that team, they're going to play good football this year. So I really think these are two teams in the preseason that you watch. Watch their depth. You watch what they have at all positions, because, like I said, it could be two teams where, and I look at the schedules, could be two teams that could make the playoffs, especially the Cardinals could make the playoffs, possibly if things go right for them. So pay attention to this game. Seahawks against Titans. Will Levis. I need to see more Will Levis. I think Levis needs to play the whole first quarter. I think on the Seattle Seahawks end, you like what you got from Sam Howell last week. You really like what you got from him. So you continue to let him play, let him thrive. You continue to let him try to grow, as Geno Smith is hurt right now. And we could possibly have a quarterback competition, a quarterback controversy in Seattle if Geno doesn't come back healthy. Jets and Panthers. I need to see the Jets go out there and dominate on both lines of scrimmages, because right now, looking at the Panthers, I don't see a lot of promise. I just don't see a lot of promise from them. If you're the Jets, you go out there, you whip them on both sides of the ball, and you just can show why you are possibly a contender this year. Because again, folks, you are one injury away from one of these guys coming to the game. So for the folks out there who do not follow preseason and don't think it's important, yeah, if one of your stars get hurt, you're going to need some of these guys who are backups. So I want the Jets to go out there and want them to dominate. You got the Rams and Chargers. For me, it's two important things. Number one, Stetson Bennett, you cannot throw 4 picks again this week. The Los Angeles Rams should be searching for a potential another quarterback to come in there. I understand people were talking about they got Jimmy G. Well, Jimmy G was horrible last year. Jimmy Garoppolo was horrible last year. He's suspended for the first 2 games. So what happens if Matthew Stafford gets hurt in the first game? You're gonna really put, and I have to give Stetson Bennett credit. He threw 4 picks, came back, won the game last second. Now, of course, the Cowboys did have some self-inflicted wounds and penalties on the last drive, which should be shocking to absolutely no one. But Stetson Bennett came back. He did what he had to do, won the game. But you can't throw 4 picks in a game, especially in a preseason game. That just can't happen. Now, on the flip side, maybe he got all the kinks out, and now maybe he will play better down the stretch. So we will hope that for Stetson Bennett. Chargers. The Chargers need a quarterback bad, man. And this, like I said, this goes back to maybe a Bailey Zappi. There's a lot of decent backups out there, because with Justin Herbert, they're not going to make the playoffs. Without Justin Herbert, they'll have the number 1 pick overall next year. So they better get their stuff together, brother. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Baker Mayfield needs to play. Trevor Lawrence needs to play. Bottom line, end of story. The Commanders against the Miami Dolphins. I'd like to see Tua play. I like to see Tua out there. I like to see Tua do some good things. I like to see him get some rhythm. As far as the Commanders go, Jay Daniels, just keep doing what you're doing. I was very impressed by him last week. I was impressed by Sam Hartman. Their secondary has got to play better. They've got to play better going into the season. I mean, you're going against the Giants, who are going to have a better receiving core. Dallas receiving core is going to be back. CeeDee Lamb, all that. He'll probably get something done. He'll be back before the season starts. If not, then we'll see what happens. But they'll still have a decent offense regardless because of the quarterback. And then the Eagles. The Eagles are a nuclear weapon waiting to happen. You know, with Smith, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley. They've got Julio Jones sitting back there. So I believe Julio is still on the team. They have just an array of weapons. It is absolutely unfair. So you got to deal with that if you're the Commander secondary. It feels like that they're just signing former Cowboys left and right, which I don't get. But hey, that's, it is what it is. But I will say again, Jayden Daniels is the bright spot for the team right now. Terry McLaurin deserves to have a quarterback who will get him the football. We'll see how, and that throw that Jayden Daniels made last week, folks, was just an absolute thing of beauty. Last week in the preseason, week 1, we saw what he did. We saw what Caleb Williams did. So we understand that the NFL is in good hands going to the future. Now, it's only preseason, so we cannot guarantee that what we saw then is going to be is going to translate to the regular season. But when you have guys like that who come in, who play well, who look like they understand the system and have had their heads, stuck in the playbook, that's only encouraging. Last game is the Cowboys and the Raiders on the Saturday slate. Bottom line, Trey Lance, he had 41, what was that? 41 attempts last week, 41, 42. I believe he was like 25 of 41 for 100 and so yards, maybe 140. His receivers did let him down. I will say that. His receivers let him down on a few of those plays. You know, I don't. They had 4 picks in the game, folks. The Dallas Cowboys had 4 picks in that game and still lost it at the end of the game, 13-12 to the LA Rams. And let me get those stats correct. Yep, 25 of 41 for 188 yards for Trey Lance. The running game didn't really show me too much. So I just, if you're the Cowboys, you give the majority of the game to Trey Lance. You let him play because we already know what Cooper Rush can do, right? Cooper Rush can be possibly, if Trey Lance plays well this preseason, you could possibly use Cooper Rush as trade bait. Because, again, going back to teams out there like Seattle and different teams like that, they need a valuable backup or potential starter. Even the Las Vegas Raiders, I'm so shocked the Raiders have not reached out to the Cowboys for a Cooper Rush. Maybe they have. Maybe we haven't heard reports of it. But for me, folks, right now, I just think that we know what Cooper Rush can do. He came out, he threw a very good pass. He threw a great pass to Brooks. So we know what he can do. So for the Cowboys, Trey Lance, and for the Raiders, continue to do what you're doing. I was personally very impressed by the Raiders last week. I was impressed when they were out there, what they were able to do to the Vikings first team offense. I was impressed by the fact that the Las Vegas Raiders, that their rookie Brock Bowers looks so good. I'm not shocked he looked good, but he's a very good tight end. I was impressed by their quarterbacks. I was impressed by a lot of things with the Las Vegas Raiders. So for me, I want to continue to see the Raiders play good football. Get your quarterbacks out there. Get Gardner Minshew out there. You know, get Aiden out there. Get Aiden O'Connell out there. Continue to let them play. And I'm impressed by the Raiders. So that should be an interesting game on Saturday night, Cowboys Raiders. Now the Sunday games, they will both be in prime time. You have the Saints against the 49ers. That's on Fox. Basically, what I want to see is I want to see more of Spencer Rattler. Because if you are in the Derek Carr camp, you got to be a little nervous because Spencer Rattler took the team down last week and won the game. And I'm not saying that he will replace Derek Carr, but Carr needs to get his stuff together. The 49ers, I need to see what the backups are going to do. I need to see what your backup quarterback's going to do. What happens if Brock Purdy goes down with an injury? What happens if you don't pay Trent Williams and he doesn't come in the first game of the season? You know that's a liability. And the 49ers, besides Brandon Ayuk, without Trent Williams, they are a totally different football team. They are a totally different football team. And everyone knows that he is the catalyst for that football team on the offensive line. Trent Williams would have got MVP votes from me last year and the year before. That's how important he is to this football team. So, yeah. And then we have the other game on NFL Network. We have the Broncos and Packers. This game is so intriguing to me for this reason right here. The Broncos did everything they could to say, Bo Nix, go out there and prove to us that you are QB1. And what did Bo Nix do? Bo Nix went out there and proved he was QB1. Everyone who if Bo Nix comes to the season and he plays well off the jump, I'm gonna pull up stuff from people out there who say, "Oh, Bo Nix, who is Bo Nix?" You must not watch Bo Nix when he was at Oregon. He was slinging the football. He's ready, folks. And if I'm wrong, I'm just gonna admit I'm wrong when it comes to the regular season. But Bo Nix is ready, folks. Bo Nix is better than Jarrett Stidham. And can anyone tell me to my face that Bo Nix is not better than Jarrett Stidham? It's a joke. If Bo Nix if it wasn't Bo Nix's fault against Washington, the defense for Oregon just could not handle Michael Penix, who was a top 10 pick. And you have another receiver, Roman Duze, who was a top 10 pick as well. You're looking at a team, right? You're looking at a team who had Bo Nix, who had weapons, and they just lost to Washington. If not for those losses, Oregon's in the national championship game. Not only that, Oregon dominated Liberty, a very good Liberty team, by the way. Bo Nix destroyed them. So, yeah, I'm very intrigued by the Denver Broncos in this game. Going back to one of the games, I did miss a point. The Vikings and Browns. If you have not seen Dallas Turner play football, please go watch Dallas Turner play football. I'm telling you, I was begging teams, go get Dallas Turner out of Alabama. Nobody wanted to do it. So guess what? He's in Minnesota now, and he's going to dominate Minnesota. Did you see what he did last week? He was going around fools. He was sacking quarterbacks. Dallas Turner for the Minnesota Vikings is going to be that exciting player. And that guy, you're going to look back in 10 years and say, damn, people actually passed on that guy. Now, let's go to our next segment.
I need you to shut the hell up for the immediate future.
Why? I don't know. Let's play that again. Sorry about that. Let's play that one more time. For some reason, things aren't being played correctly today. I have no idea why.
I need you to shut the hell up for the immediate future.
For the immediate future. I don't know. Maybe the internet world is slow today. I have no idea. But anyway, when we talk about, and me and Larry Passing, Game Time Sports 365, we do the show, Robb Johnson Show every Sunday night. We came up with this new segment called, Shut the Hell Up. And who would I like to say shut the hell up to? I like to say to everybody out there who continues to talk about LeBron James and the situation with the person outside the club, shut the hell up. Especially I see a lot of videos circulating that is being edited or whatnot. Listen, look, man, athletes are people too. One thing about me, I think when I was at ACC Media, I took a picture with Cam Ward, right? I think that's the first time I ever got a photo with an athlete, but I only did it because other people were doing it. It's promoting. You're promoting these college players. You're saying, hey, this college player, you want to get better. Hey, check this college player out. So basically, it's a little bit of a promotion. When you're out there and you're just a groupie, and you just want, hey, LeBron, hey, this player, that player. Stop being groupies. So for all you out there who wants to get mad at LeBron because he was like, get out my personal space, and there were some other things said that should have been said to LeBron, shut the hell up. I'm going to play it one more time.
I need you to shut the hell up for the immediate future.
Exactly. Now, before we get to our Tell the World segment, let's get to a commercial here by Latoris. Make sure you check out latoris.com. Hey guys, this is Robb Johnson from Robb Johnson Media. I just want to let you guys know Latoris, one of the best brands out there for activewear. No matter if you're hiking, running, playing golf, playing tennis, it doesn't matter what you're doing. When you have on this right here, ladies and gentlemen, trust me, you feel good and your performance will be great. Latoris, check it out today at latoris.com. Yep, we're going to tell the world how we feel. The thing I want to say to the world is basically like this. And again, Tell the World segment, you can tell us anything, sports, non-sports. Thing I can say, folks, just keep on striving. Keep on trying to do what you can do to make it through these hard times. It's hard times out here. Do research. Don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you hear, because research is important. Research is important. Don't watch the news too much. That's my advice for Tell the World. Don't watch the news too much. Consume a little at a time. Don't consume too much. Try to get different sources from different things. Watch Fox News. Watch CNN. Watch MSNBC. Watch everything you can to try to get different perspectives. We have to stop being so angry. We're a very angry country right now. Everybody's upset. And we don't realize, as I said before, I think I said this a couple weeks ago, we are all on borrowed time, folks. Life is not guaranteed tomorrow. So, yes, we have to make sure that we are tackling the issues, making sure that we are making a difference out here. But some of y'all, man, just taking to crazy extremes. It's like this side versus that side. Don't y'all get tired? Don't y'all get tired sometimes having all this different, I'm versus you, you versus me? Take a break from the internet sometimes, unless you're watching the Robb Johnson Sports Show or the Legacy Maker Sports Network or Game Time Sports Network with my man Larry Patterson. By the way, he's coming up with some good content, by the way, for high school football. Make sure you're checking out Game Time Sports Network coming up. Check it out now, but the high school content is going to be crazy. Same with Legacy Maker College, college and all that different stuff. And, I'll be giving you coverage of different things. But, yeah, man, sometimes we just in life, we have to just sit back and think, look, life is precious. We all don't have everything we need, but we don't have everything we want, but we have what we need. So the way I look at it is, in life, sometimes sit back, chill, take what you need to take seriously, but at the same time, realize that we are all on borrowed time. This life is temporary. And while you're here, enjoy life. Life is short, folks. Enjoy it. Again, we have to tackle the issues. We got to work. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to try to make our differences in the world. But just remember, have fun while you are here. Love, live life. That's been episode 68 for the Robb Johnson Sports Show. I should be back tomorrow to talk to you guys about some more sports. And remember, episode 70 is coming up on Sunday with me and Larry Patterson. When we recap the preseason games, we talk a little more college football. Until then, I've been Robb Johnson. It's been nice to talk to you guys. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m.
It's caught in the crossfire.